Reese here, aka Sonic Walker 55, bringing you all a new room tour video. Wait, when was the last room tour video? Probably 3 years ago. But anyways, I decided that around December 2022, I would change my room to something mature since I was getting pretty tired with the old room and thought, hey, I could change it up a bit. How much? Well, let's see. Also, by the way, this little Reese sign right here, I had that since 2019. That's probably one of the few things that hasn't changed about this room at all. So, without further ado, let's see this new room, guys. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, here is my new room. It's pretty much the same room, just different design and stuff. I've had this since December 2022, and I have a lot to show you in terms of changes and stuff. So, without further ado, let's get started off with this section right here, filled with a bunch of freaking figures of Sonic, Mario, Looney Tunes, etc. I have a bunch of Jazzwares figures, Tomy figures, Funko Pops, especially right there. I have a bunch of figures and I think they're all really, really nice. I have 2 classic Sonic figures actually. One as a collectible and one for display, which I think is really, really nice. Both of which are made by Jazzwares. Also, here is the modern Sonic figure by Jazzwares. Behind those 2 figures are classic Sonic figures holding remotes, which will be integral for this shelf, which we'll get into pretty soon. Over here is my Nintendo Switch. That is just a little shelf. On top of that is where I would place my camera right after I'm finished filming and stuff. That's supposed to be a camera handle, but I haven't really used that yet, and I don't think it's really efficient. Underneath this shelf is nothing really interesting. It's just my clothes and pajamas, you know, it's nothing interesting. I just thought I'd point that out. It's nothing really interesting. It's just whatever. You know, let's move on. Come on, let's move on. Although I will mention this cute little rug of Sonic and Amy. Also, slippers! I have slippers. Moving on. Over here is a little nice picture of my channel, Sonic Worker 55. I had this for a long time. I've had this since 2018, which is insane. That's like 6 years. It's freaking insane. Jesus Christ. Over here's my night lamp and my tissue and a bunch of remotes. Oh yeah, underneath the shelf, here are just a bunch of Nintendo Switch games, and underneath that box is just some extra boxes, one specifically for my camera. Here's my bed, and under this blue duvet is a Sonic cover. Underneath the bed, if I use my strength, now underneath my bed is a bunch of random crap, including some plushes, some Legos, some extra duvet covers, and over there is my large Mario plush, which I did an unboxing video for a long time ago. I'm honestly surprised that this bed, this new bed, which I got by the way, could fit this large Mario. It's insane. He's freaking huge. What the frick? On top of the bed is a Reese sign with modern Sonic, which I had since December 2016, and I still really like it. It looks really colorful and really nice. Overall, I think it just sort of suits this room and just makes it sort of comfy and cozy, you know? Before this room was finished, this room was pretty freaking dark. It was kind of bizarre, but thankfully with this lamp, it just adds some extra lighting and makes the room slightly nicer. Over here is my laundry basket. It's not really important, it's just filled with icky, old, yucky clothes. Ugh, moving on. Here are some pillows. This one specifically featuring me and my dog Casey. Over here is my Sonic Walker 55 pillow. Over here is my Gumball pillow, which I've had for a long time. And over here is Amy's hammer, which I started using in a recent video called Mirror to Death. And under here, it's just plushes. It's just plushes. Oh, well, you know, plushes. Oh yeah, by the way, there's Rouge. Oh yeah, please go check out my Rouge video, that would mean a lot. Oh my gosh, well you know, plushes. Oh yeah, by the way, this is also my new tripod. If you want to know where my old tripod is, it's in one of those shelves in my little office, which I'll get into later. And oh my gosh, guess what guys, guess what? More freaking plushes. This plush specifically, I've been using him in 2 of my recent videos, Sonic Frontiers in a Nutshell and Gotta Go Fast. Let's move on with my little office. Right here is my XP pen tablet, which is where I do my 2D animations on. This is an XP pen glove. This is to protect the screen and stuff. Here's just a little paper filled with my schedule. It's not really important. Now let's get into my little office. I already mentioned the XP pen tablet, which I think is really, really nice, and it helps me a lot when it comes to doing animations. Here is my sketchbooks. This is actually part of that tripod right there. Now, if I were using a phone, I would use this, but since I'm not, I find it's pretty pointless. Papers, notebooks, picture frames, old picture frames of Amy, Gumball, Bugs. These are pretty freaking old. And over here is a little Sonic toy that you can play around. I actually had this a long time ago, and I remember having so much fun with this. It was pretty cool. And over here are some pens. This is my little chair, which I use a lot. Here is my rubbish bin. Nothing important, but I thought I'd like to mention it. Here is my Mac where I edit videos on. Here is my notebook filled with scripts and ideas for upcoming videos, which I'm not going to tackle here because, well, I don't want to ruin any surprises for any upcoming videos. Here are my 2 little lamps for extra lighting. Here are some Funko Pops of Super Tails, Sonic in his running pose, and Super Silver. Over here are some Super Poser figures of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Here are some little accessories with scissors, rubbers, pens, pencils. This is a fake bush, but I thought it made this room nice, you know? Here are some pens and pencils and etc. and that little sellotape. In this shelf, there's more books. And this shelf is supposed to be a Sonic Wikipedia-like book, which I never read yet, which I would like to in the future, but it's kind of interesting. Here is my old tripod, which is pretty freaking small and was pretty much the reason as to why I stopped using it. It's not really for me anymore. Here it's a box filled with a bunch of old drawings and stuff. It's nothing really important. Also on top of my little office is my silver play button, which I'm still grateful for to this very day. So yeah, that wraps up my office. Now let's move on to the next thing. That being my plush shelf. I have so many plushes here, which I cannot wait to show you all, starting with the top part. Right here is my large GE Sonic plush. Over here are some Sonic 25th anniversary plushes of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. And behind it is one of my rarest plushes I've ever collected, the Soap Shoes Sonic plush, which I did an unboxing video for. Here is a Super Mario Sunshine large Mario plush, which I got recently. Here are some Cine plushes of Sonic, Amy, Tails, and behind it are some Tomy plushes of Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, and Classic Knuckles. Over here are some Mario Party 5 plushes of Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Toad, and behind it are some Yoshi's Island plushes, and over there is my Goldie Koopa Troopa plush. Here are some more Mario Party 5 plushes of Wario, Bowser, and behind them are Medium Mario and Medium Yoshi, and here's a Sene Jr. Over here are some All-Stars Mario plushes of Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Toad, Rosalina, Daisy, etc. And over here are some Bowser villains, all of which are from the All-Stars collection of Kamek, Goomba, Waluigi, Wario, Bowser, all that stuff. Now, going down, these are the plushes that you see in my videos. Tails, Sonic, Knuckles, Amy, Cream, and over here is some Sonic X plushes and Shadow, which is the same Shadow that you see in my videos. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Cream, and behind it is a GE Modern Amy plush, which I think is really nice. Underneath this area is some more plushes of Metal Sonic, Silver, which by the way you also see in my videos, Dr. Crack, which you've seen in my recent videos, another Tails plush, a mini Sonic. Over here are some tech-specific Sonic plushes of Classic Sonic, Knuckles, Dark Chow, Amy, Mighty. There's so many that I won't be able to show because there's just so many in this area. Now underneath this shelf are some more Mario plushes like this Mario Party 5 Donkey Kong, some All-Star Baby plushes of Luigi, Mario, Rosalina, as well as these Super Mario Sunshine plushes including Magnet Yoshi, Medium Mario, and Magna Mario, which I thought was kind of interesting to point out since it's basically just variants of Mario and Yoshi. I just thought it was kind of interesting. And over here are some plushes, including the new Daffy that you see in my videos, the old Daffy, which you used to see in my older videos, and then older Bugs. And over there is my new Bugs, including some Sonic plushes and also a Fire Mario. Now that wraps up all of the plushes I have in this room. And now let's get into the more interesting part of this room, in my opinion, the TV. And this is a pretty big TV. I actually got a new one. This is a Samsung TV, which I think is pretty cool. Over here is my DVD player. Underneath is just more shelves filled with little boxes and stuff. And underneath it is a VHS player. Speaking of VHS, I have a bunch of VHSs. I think they're all really cool. I recently collected a bunch. I think they're all really nice and vintage and in a way sort of nostalgic for a bunch of people that used to have VHSs. I have a bunch. I have Dance the Medicines, Cats and Dogs, Beach Jam, You've Got Mail, Looney Tunes, Back in Action, Twister, Miss Congeniality, Contact, The Powerpuff Girls movie, Willy Wonka, The Chocolate Factory, City of Angels, Scooby-Doo, Starla 2, Starla Season, The Iron Giant, Harry Potter, Social Storm, Harry Potter, and Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter, The Person of Azkaban, from Polar Express, Gremlins 2, The New Batch, Batman, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Ace Ventura, Winnie the Calls, The Matrix, Deep Blue Sea, Chariots of Fire, Friends Volume 1, Friends Volume 2, Friends Volume 3, and Friends Volume 4. Was it necessary? Well, no. But screw you, this is my video, and I think these VHSs are pretty cool. And I understand that no one uses them anymore, especially since we had the internet. Next to the VHS are some Nintendo Switch games, including Super Mario Party, Lego Harry Potter, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020, Luigi's Mansion Free, Super Mario Maker 2, Team Sonic Racing, and Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And underneath the shelf is a Luigi's Mansion statue, which I think is pretty nice and pretty well detailed. And next to it are a bunch of other Nintendo Switch games, including the most noticeable one here, Sonic Frontiers, which I did not play yet, but I would like to very soon. And over here are just some more lights of Sonic from Sonic Hex and a sign that says my name, Reese. Underneath this shelf is just some deodorants, lotions, a hairbrush, some cotton buds, etc. Over here is just more lotion and perfume, as well as a hair dryer. Here's just a bunch of clothes, it's nothing really special. Now over here is just a bunch of figures that I've had for a very long time. Here's just a bunch of random garbage, you know, it's nothing special. Over here are some more plushes, it's nothing really interesting, just thought I'd point that out. Also, over here on this part of the shelf, my mom also gave me this little angel. It's supposed to make this room warm and cozy. It's nice, although it gets really tiring that's hanging on to this freaking shelf. And underneath this one is a bunch of DVDs. I have so many DVDs, like Harry Potter and Sonic and SpongeBob and Looney Tunes and etc. I have so many, which also explains why you see this DVD player right here. And with that is my new room tour. I know it might look slightly empty, but you know, that's just part of growing up. You just change your preferences, you change your style, and that's just how life is. And I'm pretty happy with how this room turned out. And hopefully I'll see you all in some more longer videos. I know a bunch of you have been begging for some longer videos, and those will be coming out soon. But I decided to do a bunch of short videos as a way to apologize to my fans for the lack of content from 2022. And I hope this year I can make up for that with some more videos. That's all I hope. I hope to make some more videos for you all, and I hope you all will enjoy. And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I want to thank you all so much for 730,000 subscribers. So peace out.